Right, everyone, thank you. We're going to jump right in. This is going to be a quick and dirty video where I go over exactly how we're using AI agents, not only for our own companies, where we've been able to use AI agents to help us sell $3 million of high ticket sales last year, but as well as other case studies on how we're using it in other companies, as well as for those that are interested, a little bit more of a deep dive for the nerds only. So, guys, in this presentation, we're going to go just a little bit about myself so that you can get to know me and why it is that I do what I do. We'll also review some case studies, and these are really exciting, real case studies that I think we're going to make an impact. And then at the end, we'll do a little bit more deep dive for those that are interested in looking under the hood and seeing where the rabbit hole goes. Okay. So with that said, a little bit about me and who I am. I am a award-winning marketer, won the $10 million ClickFunnels Award, the 2 Comma Award, the high-level SaaSpreneur Award, and this has been over 20 years. So there's a lot of hard work that goes into that, and it's been a lot of fun. But I share that with you because this is truly my passion. This is what I've dedicated my life for. And as you can see, here I am with my lovely wife and partner, Chelsea, who helps me do a lot of this work. It's been fantastic. But it really started to get interesting when we started seeing what was taking place with AI. After 20 years of online marketing, lead generation, automation, CRM, we were really excited and jumped on headfirst as AI came out, and have been working with AI for the last 3 years. And we have seen now that AI is beating out actual human sales departments, especially in the front end, the SDR, sales development role, where we're going out to connect, engage, serve, and qualify and book. And you're going to see how we're doing that really successfully. Before I show you everything, I want to make sure that to share with you exactly what the type of technology I use to build on this, because I build inside of Go High Level, which is a full-on marketing automation system and CRM system that allows us to have multi-channel communication, not only via SMS, but through phone, through social media. It's very powerful. Allows us to have pipeline management, manage salespeople within it, have our own, all the calendars all under one place. It truly is an incredibly powerful tool. And we build the AI agents, the brains for this. We build it on CloseBot. CloseBot is, out of all of them, I've been in this now for a few years. I was one of the first to jump in and begin to test all of the different solutions that are out there. And still to this day, CloseBot provides the framework that we need to build multi-objective conversations, integrate them directly into Go High Level, and be able to trigger any automation that we have. It's super, super powerful. As I mentioned, Go High Level is absolutely complete. The people that run Go High Level are absolutely amazing. And I've been in that community since 2019. As I mentioned, I did win the SaaSpreneur Award in that work, and I've gotten to meet not only a lot of the team members inside of Go High Level, but an incredibly thriving community of folks where we share information and are always looking to improve. And then CloseBot, I couldn't do what we do without the ability to really be able to frame conversations, AI conversations, just like it would be in a sales process. And I mean by that is to have objectives. And you're going to see all of this here in a moment as I really start diving in. But I was able to jump into CloseBot about 2 years ago. Here I am with Bryce Decora, the founder of CloseBot and a dear friend. And I've had the opportunity to not only benefit from this tool, but be able to input and learn right straight from the source on what's the latest and greatest ways that people are using AI. Really putting us on the edge. At CloseBot, I'm one of the top winners. I have won the God of Appointments Award, and I'll show you that here in a little bit. But basically that means for booking over 10,000 appointments conversationally through AI in CloseBot. And that's just the beginning, guys, of the work that we're able to do when we blend these two systems together. All right, let's jump into the first case study, because this is a fantastic one. Partner-driven real estate investing is a high-ticket coaching partnering program where they provide funding to real estate investors. They partner with them, and at the end, they split profits 50-50. Really powerful organization. They're doing amazing things. And even with all the automations, still face a lot of the same challenges that a lot of companies are facing. Challenges around reach rate and our ability to get a hold of folks. challenges around training humans and keeping them and making sure they're doing what they were supposed to be doing at the time they were supposed to be doing it in the way that we wanted them to do it. At the end of the day, they felt scattered. They didn't know if what they wanted to happen was actually happening. So we came in and we implemented the full AI marketing automation system. And we're actually in the deep dive going to be showing you a deeper level of this in the next evolution of it. But basically, we were able to then drive people to an AI assessment funnel. I'll show you what that is, straight from cold traffic. And then from there, have the AI follow up, the funnel automations and AI follow up to finish assessments, book appointments. And the net results is that we've been able to break over 50% booking rate from cold traffic, which is incredibly powerful. I'll be showing you the actual pipelines here in the deep dive on this specific case study, as well as some of the new stuff that we're doing. But before I move on from partner driven, you can see here the appointments that are being booked. It's absolutely incredible what happens when you align all of your marketing and drive them through specific objectives with one goal in mind. In this case for them was to qualify them and to book a call, and you can see the results that this company is generating. All right, this next case study is really interesting because it's completely different. In this situation, we built an AI agent that actually went and sold on its own, right? Very powerful. And what selling was a low ticket event. And by low ticket, it was actually quite expensive. $525 general admission, $1,200 VIP. And we were able to build an AI agent that went to re-engage their list, found out if they were interested in coming into the event, in RSVPing for the event. If they did, then it asked it the money question. And we had it ask. The AI agent, it was so beautiful to watch. The AI agent goes, it's like, great, we have RSVP'd you, but let me ask you a question. Are you more of a VIP person that enjoys having access to the speakers and special networking opportunities? Or are you more a general admission person that prefers to save money? It was incredible because people would answer all the time. And they would answer, I don't know, how much is VIP or however they answered. The AI agent was then trained to, number one, assess if they wanted general or VIP, and then follow up to close them by providing them a payment link. And in this case, it was able to generate $32,000 in this process, which was incredibly powerful. Okay, this next case study, we're going to dive in a little bit deeper because this is a case study for Carl Allen. He is a business acquisitions expert and coaching program. He's done over $42 billion worth of acquisitions in his career. Today, they run one of the world's biggest business acquisition coaching groups and masterminds. And when they came to us, they were experiencing some of the same things that Peter was experiencing at Partner Driven, or what you might be experiencing. And that is that they had challenges around the reach rate. Reach rate has been coming down all across the board. And they had gotten as low as 7%. And this is humans dialing, texting, trying to get a hold of these leads that were coming through. Well, we implemented our full AI funnel marketing automation and agents into their system, and we were able to generate drastic results, right? Not only were we able to bring that 7% reach rate well above 50% reach rate, we were able to take their 5% booking rate and take it into the 30% booking rate, which has been incredibly powerful. In addition to that, we've seen some beautiful things that happen when people do a conversational style booking. This is different. This is different than they went through a VSL soft form and picked a time on a calendar. Self-booking. There's nothing wrong with that. We blend in with that. But this next layer, conversational booking, really takes things to the next level because it's also building a relationship with your prospects. All right, so we're going to dive in and just look at this conversation. And as we're going through the conversation, you're going to see actually how when automations are triggers, when pipelines are updated, because as I'm going to show you here in a little bit, one of the key aspects of our strategy is that it's not just a chatbot. It's an AI agent that is not only following up with these leads and qualifying them, but actually managing the sales pipeline and moving them to the right stage and step. So we know where everyone is at all times. All right, let's dive into this conversation. So this is for Carl Allen, and I'm just going to start. And it says, hi, Brent, this is Jenny. I work directly with Carl Allen, and he asked me to get you access to his business acquisition resources. Quick question. Will this be your first business acquisition, or have you acquired a business before? So the first thing I want you to notice about that message is that we're showing up to help them first. We're showing up to serve first. This is completely different than what we could do before in more direct style marketing SMS, where we're asking them, click here to finish doing this. You forgot to do this. Click here to finish it. Now we can actually be like, hey, I'm here to help you. Would you like me to help you? And that changes the tone of the conversation, changes the tone of what's taking place. And you're going to see how that happens. So this person answered, Brent answers this, I've not purchased a business before, but have run a couple. Jenny continues, that's great experience to have, Brent. What's driving your interest in business acquisitions right now? Are you looking to shift focus from what you're currently doing, or is there a specific goal you're trying to reach? So you can see that Jenny is starting to focus on objective number one, which is to qualify why they're interested now and move on to the next step. All right, here we go. First thing that happened is that in the sales pipeline and the opportunity was updated. And Brent was moved from the opt-in stage to the responded stage in the sales pipeline without anyone having to do anything. No sales manager or salespeople making sure that they did things the way they're supposed to do it. And the conversation continues because we're not done with our objectives yet. And so he says, mostly looking for something that's absentee ownership, at least at first. We're open to anything, but most interested in laundromat, self-storage, car wash. Hey, those are solid choices for absentee ownership. Given your interest in laundromats, self-storage, and car washes, what are you currently focusing on in your professional life? Are these sectors a shift from what you're doing? So the next thing we wanted to do was to find out what do you do for work? But notice how the AI is asking in a completely different way. It's not saying, great, what do you do for a job? No, we can actually have a conversation with them and try to make it relevant. We're asking these questions because it's relevant on how we're going to be able to help them. Okay. And then, so he replies, really wanting to semi-retire and travel. We both work full time right now. So she continues, it sounds like you're quite busy. May I ask what fields are you and your partner currently working in? Notice that he didn't answer the question. And so the AI agent is still on that objective and it's going to find that information. Now, for Carl Allen, that was really important, and he wanted to have that conversation. And if people weren't serious enough to tell him that information, he didn't want to book a call. So we continued, and he answers, boom, I manage an insurance agency, and my wife is the bookkeeper. So now the next objective has been done. She answers, managing an insurance agency and handling bookkeeping are valuable skills that can definitely transfer well into owning and managing a business. And she continues, and the next question is, are you ready to take the next step and discuss your business acquisition strategy with our expert team? So now you can see that she moved from that objective and it's now ready to book. This person's answering all the information correctly, and boom, the pipeline was updated. The opportunity is updated from responded to interested. Way to go, Jenny, taking care of all of that for us in the process. And then he continues, I'm ready, but my schedule is pretty tight right now. Sound familiar? What times do you have free? And so Jenny replies, I'm glad to hear you're ready to move forward, Brent. To better assist you with scheduling, could you let me know your current time zone or location? This will help us find a time that works best for you. So in this case, she didn't have the time zone, so she asked. If we did have the time zone in the system because it came through one of our AI funnels or something along those lines, she wouldn't have had to ask. This is coming through a zap from a type form. So, boom. Then she says, great, thanks for confirming your time zone, Brent. Here are a few options. And she gives him 3 options. Do any of these work for you? If not, suggest a few others. And then he looks at them. They're all Monday and Tuesday. And Brent will say, nope, none of those work for me. Again, sound familiar? And then he says, what about Wednesday? Anything we can do between 12 and 1 or 9:30 on Thursday? And so she answers, hey, listen, I'm sorry we don't have ability at 9:30 a.m. However, we do have a slot open at 12 p.m. EST on Wednesday, April 14th. Would that work for you to discuss your business acquisition strategy? Yes, that will work. Awesome. Boom. Automatically, what happens here is then the lead is updated inside of the sales pipeline. An appointment has been created inside of the system. GHL integrates into your calendar, so it's all automatically checking for conflicts in the process. It's updating it all inside of the record. We moved the opportunity in the sales pipeline to book call. In this case, for this company, at that point, we assign it to a salesperson. There is a show campaign, and it's assigned to the salesperson. And now the salesperson has a qualified opportunity to do their first presentation and move to a close. And the process works. If we are getting the right type of leads, if we're presenting them the right information, and we're showing up to help them, they respond. They generate sincere interest. And if it's a good fit, we'll go all the way to schedule a call. All right, so that's one example of the process of exactly how these AI agents have their own role. They're following up with these folks. They are qualifying them. They are managing the sales pipeline. They are booking calls, looking for conflicts, and providing a service to these folks, because we're not following up to bother them. We're following up to help them. So would you like to see a little bit more of a deep dive into some of these systems and how they work? Okay, let's jump into one of these pipelines. So here we are inside of these pipelines. This one is focused on an assessment. So we're doing an AI assessment. We are qualifying the folks. The AI is following up to make sure that they fill out the assessment. And once they fill out the assessment, to schedule a call. And it's a really interesting solution. We're going to dive a little deeper here in a moment. And we will be entering nerds only territory soon. But here, I think everyone can appreciate a sales pipeline, because here is that partner funding assessment pipeline. You can see that we've had 23,000 opportunities come through into that pipeline. This is all coming from cold traffic, and we're tracking if they're qualified, or if they're great, if they're ideal, or if they are not good. And then, or if they had no money, we're pulling the people out. And you can see that we've booked about 11,000 of that 23,000, 11,500 of that 23,000, but as well have had an additional 942, bringing us to about 12,500, right? And another 400 that actually closed. And this is for a high ticket. This is somewhere between $10,000 to $20,000 a sale. You can see how that adds up into multiple seven figures really quick. And this is all being done from cold traffic. And in this situation, you can see that we are over 50% conversion rate from cold traffic into booking, calls, and closes. Okay, I warned you, we're going to start entering nerd territory here. And I want to just show you this, because this is a very interesting application, the same agent that's working, because it actually has different instructions based off of where that contact is in their assessment journey. In other words, have they taken the assessment or not taken the assessment? And if they did take the assessment, what was their score? Because I want the high scoring ones going to my closers, and I want my AI agent setting for my closers. I want the lower scoring ones to be either sent to my setters or to other low ticket offers. And that is all run in here inside of the system. We are able to receive the information, assess where they're at in their journey. As I mentioned, haven't taken the assessment. And then if they are, we update dynamically what their calls to action are throughout all the emails and SMSs to drive them to the application or the assessment, as well as add them to our AI follow-up that's following up with them for 7 days to help them answer any questions and get them to fill out the assessment. If they did fill out the assessment, then we have it broken out. So if this is a +3, it goes to our closers, and we update all of our calls to actions automatically through custom fields throughout our emails and SMSs. You can see that we're always moving it into the different sales pipelines and then adding it to an AI follow-up assessment, where then now the AI that they did the assessment, the AI is going to follow up to book a call. So this is a really interesting case study. You can see that you can keep dividing it. We had a different assessment, a real estate agent assessment, and that had a unique follow-up. So we're able to build these multi-follow-up strategies within the system, so the AI agent takes care of these prospects exactly where they're at in their journey. And what journey am I referring? The journey that we want them to go through, the buyer's journey, right? Let me show you some of the next level stuff that we're doing. Okay, here we are in one of our AI assessment funnels. Why is it an AI assessment funnel? Because you're going to see that we have an AI generated avatar for our guru in this company, where we're setting up the stage before the assessment. This is an incredibly powerful strategy. We use assessment funnels because we love being able to gather information. All the information that we gather in the front end is fed to the AI agent. The AI agent knows all of these answers. So it's really powerful. It does adjust her tone and how she speaks based off of how much experience does this person have. Oops, I have to pick one. What their hopes and dreams are in reference to this offer. Of course, we're gathering a contact information along the way. What's holding them back? What are the biggest obstacles that they're facing? Last name. In this example, I'm showing you this. This is using Typeform. We love using Typeform. It has a really high conversion rate. It's easy to use, and it has some really powerful scoring tools that we use in the logic, as I just showed you in the last automation. And so you can see that this thing is, man, we're at 7 questions so far. Do you think people take the time to fill out 7 questions? Ooh, I'm at 9. And then the big money question. Hey, do you have money? That's important. We sometimes have to ask that, right? It's better to know beforehand, because we can then, in the scoring, we can drive people to different offers based off of how they responded. This then goes into a little deeper VSL, and then the ability for them to schedule a call. It's a really smooth process, but the magic is the scoring that's taking place. And now let me ask you a question. How many people do you think fill out this form once they start? Here you can see on one of our cold traffic forums to TikTok for this offer, where we're getting 74% completion rate of people going through and giving us all of that information that then our AI agents can use in their nurturing and follow-up. Okay, one last thing I want to share with you, because a lot of the success that goes into this is how this is planned and put together. This is not just all tied together. There has to be real strategy, as you can see, behind it. And here I want to share with you just a little bit of one of our documents and exactly how we go through the process of identifying what is the messaging and hook that we're doing, what does the funnel looks like, and then really getting into planning out the prompts. So the main prompt is the prompt that we use to generate the AI agent's role and personality and what their job is going to be in general. And so we give it a lot of information about the location. In this case, is for an allergy client that you're seeing. We give it FAQs, but then we also have the objectives. I know you've heard me mention the objectives a few times. This is really powerful because this is how we're able to architect a conversation with AI so that there's a purpose for what we're actually doing. And in this case, in this one was confirm location, that they were in an area that they could have reached the office, booked the call, and then ask them if they wanted a callback request or any other questions that they needed. Then we build out the SMS series, what the SMS series look like, how we're reaching out. And again, it's always to serve first. Hey, I got your request to book an allergy appointment. It looks like there's a few appointments available this week. When would you like to come in? And then we give them more information and education. There's not just the SMS series, but then sometimes, just depending on the engagement, then there are the emails series, because the AI can answer to the emails as well. So we have the opportunity not only to use direct response, which is to click on something, but also conversational, which is actually ask for a response. It's funny, that nomenclature, as well as deeper campaigns, our booking campaigns. Listen, this goes on for a bit, but this gives you an idea of what goes into in planning this strategy, right? Including, here we are getting into the AI pipeline. This was a really robust pipeline for this client. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit, but you can see the opt-in to responded to interested. Not only that, we also have stale stages along the way, so the pipeline is self-cleaning along the process, as well as creating SOPs for the humans. Now that you've built an incredible AI agent, how do you then make sure your team can work with it? This is really important. It has to be thought out through, as well as some of the AI monitoring systems that we've created. This is really powerful. This is, again, a little nerd level here, but then we have the opportunity to be monitoring these conversations. And based off of if they were upset or confused or needed a human, be able to tag them, add them into Slack for their team, create a task in some cases, and essentially be able to live hand off to humans when it was needed. And again, this is just the beginning. Weekly follow-ups, how we do the follow-ups to the stale stages, people that have gone cold, and so much more. All right, I feel like I have gone down deep inside of the rabbit hole, but I hope that you have found this helpful. This is an incredibly powerful technology that has to be used with care, because it is in the strategy that all of the success comes. And it's not just the first strategy, it's then monitoring what happens and how we continue to improve. All right, guys, I hope this has been helpful, and I look forward to speaking with y'all.